disrespecting his opponent, dancing around, not finishing the fight. But then on the other side of the ring, before the fight, in a performance in the sense that leads up to and sells the fight, Chael's been sort of dancing around and disrespecting his opponent and may never get a chance to finish this fight, depending on how it goes. So I'm just wondering if there's on one side of, it's okay to maybe disrespect your opponent, dance around, and then once you're in the ring, it's not. So is there a double standard there, do you think, at all, or no?
No, I think there's a big difference between what you say before a fight and what you do when you actually fight. People aren't paying for what Chael's saying right now. People are going to pay for the fight on Saturday night. And, whether they bought tickets or whether they buy the pay-per-view, people want to get what they paid for. They're buying this thing to watch a fight. They're not paying anything to listen to Chael talk.
Dana, do you think people are going to get what they pay for with these two guys? Because they just seem like they really don't like each other right now.
Yeah, I hope so. That's what we always hope when we put on a pay-per-view. And I think, I've said many times, and this is truly what I believe. You've heard it for years from me. I think Anderson Silva is pound for pound the best fighter in the world. I think that he's so talented. This guy can do whatever he wants with his hands and his feet. He's very unique. And Chael Sonnen has looked incredible lately, and I said it too. Before the Nate Marquardt fight, I said, I just don't see how this guy wins this fight. He won the fight, and he won it impressively. He went in there and literally beat Nate up. So I think it's an interesting fight. When we were talking about an opponent for Anderson, I like Chael Sonnen as an opponent. I do think that he's going to bring it, and he's going to come forward and try to do what he says he wants to do.
What about bringing a venue like this card to a venue like this, Oakland? Do you see more events coming here to Oakland or the Bay Area like this?
Yeah, it's been long overdue. We were supposed to come here a couple of other times, and it just didn't work out. We're finally here, and I'm happy to bring this card. Like I said, the press conference, we've got all these guys here because all these guys matter, and all these fights really matter. So it's a big night on Saturday night.
And how do you think the Bay Area is hosting you so far?
I just got here. I literally just got here, drove straight from the plane to here. So, but I'm sure it's going to be great. UFC fans are the same all over the world, and I'm sure it's going to be awesome.
Anderson, vou perguntar em português. Como ele repetiu, tem falado muitas coisas mas como que você falou que já está acostumado a lutar com bobalhões, que nem você disse, e pessoas que dizem muito que nem ele falou. Mas como você faz para separar e para não deixar isso subir a sua cabeça? Porque você vai ter que estar de cabeça fria na hora para não deixar afetar. Como que você faz para separar para criar essa linha?
Da escola de onde eu venho, da escola de onde eu saí, de onde eu aprendi toda a minha técnica, a gente não existe pressão, não tem pressão que vai fazer com que a gente desista do nosso objetivo. E eu tô aqui para manter o meu cinturão e para fazer uma boa luta. Agora, falar até papagaio fala, porra.
The question was that Chael's been talking a lot, and how do you handle the pressure from this? And Anderson's answer was that from the school that I learned and where I started training, the word pressure doesn't exist. It's something that we live every day, and I'm here to do my job, and that's go out there and defend my belt. And as far as talking goes, even a parrot can talk.
Question for Matt Hughes. Hey, Matt, it's over here. A lot of people, us people in the media, have been calling you the next Gracie Hunter, comparing you to Sakuraba after you beat Renzo and Royce, and now you go up against Ricardo Almeida. Does that mean anything to you? And Ricardo, is there anything personal between you and Matt that you guys just want to talk about?
I don't think there's anything personal between Ricardo and I. My last opponent was his coach, and I don't blame him. I did the same thing. After Pat lost, Miltich lost a couple times, I wanted to face those same guys. So I understand where Ricardo's at, what he's doing. And it's nothing personal to me. And I don't want to be called the Gracie Killer. I like Renzo and Royce. They were just the guys the UFC put in front of me.
Ricardo?
No, nothing really personal from my side. I was there in the corner when Matt knocked out Renzo, and I asked for the fight then. I think a big part of a team is having your training partners back, and it was definitely an emotional night for me, but nothing personal. Just a chance to fight a UFC Hall of Famer and someone who's done a lot for the sport and hopefully step up in the ladder. That's all.
This question's for Anderson. Over here, Anderson. Just wondering if it's a coincidence or not, because Chael has often talked about your pink shirts, and you're wearing a pink sweater today. Did you wear the pink sweater on purpose, or is it just a coincidence?
Você vestiu essa blusa de rosa, é coincidência ou é em propósito, porque ele falou de você vestindo camisa rosa?
Pô, eu gosto de rosa e minha mulher também, pô. Se ele gosta também, pô, não posso fazer nada. Eu gosto, minha mulher gosta, não fala nada.
He said, I like pink, so does my wife. I don't know if he likes it or not, but I like it.
So it was a coincidence, you're saying?
Então foi em propósito ou coincidência?
Não, não foi coincidência não. Botei porque ela falou, porra, bota que vai ficar bonito do lado do Daniel.
He basically says, no, it's not a coincidence. I just basically put it on because my wife said, put it on. You'll look nice again next to him.
And Chael, throughout this whole process, you've obviously gained a lot more attention, you know, doing national media. You were on Jim Rome today, getting to do things like ESPN. Can you at least, regardless of what happens on Saturday night, at least take away something from all this and say at least you raised your profile in the sport? A lot more people know who Chael Sonnen is.
Well, I won't look at it like that. I mean, that certainly happened, and you know we had a good run of exposure and all of that. But no, I'm not in here to get the silver medal or say I one time fought in the main event in the UFC. I'm here purely to win the world championship, period. And it doesn't have a lot to do with Anderson. Getting to beat up Anderson is just a bonus. I'm after the championship belt. He's got it. We can't all get along. There can be only one champion.
Okay, and just one last one for Matt. Matt, in Abu Dhabi afterwards, you said that you probably only wanted to fight next maybe 8, 10, maybe even 12 months later. Why are you back 4 months later?
Two reasons. Number one, it kept me in shape, and so it was a lot easier than getting out of shape and then getting back in shape. And number two, I wanted to fight again because that makes me free all fall for hunting season. So it works out great for me.
And do you feel as though, obviously people talking about John and Thiago, of course Jake Shields and Martin Kampmann, do you feel as though this fight is kind of being overlooked a little bit in terms of where people rank in the welterweight division?
Could care less what people think about this fight, where it stacks up with Anderson or Fitch. I just don't care. I'll face Ricardo, and I mean, if it's not the main card, that's great. It's just less pressure for me. So I mean, it's been great for me. Less interviews for me to do, less stuff, you know, less responsibility on the fight because I'm not the main event and not the co-main event. And to be honest, I like it. I fight quicker, and that means I can watch the rest of the fights.
Just one last one, Ricardo. Same thing. Maybe you have a different take. If you beat Matt, would you like to be talked about in that welterweight title mix?
Man, I'm kind of with Matt on this one. I don't really care. You know, I'm in here to get better each time, and hopefully that carries when I fight. I'm just matched up with a guy who's a UFC Hall of Famer. He just beat my coach teammate, and you know, trained hard 4 months, and that's it. I'm not really thinking a single second after Saturday night.
Una pregunta para el original Junior Dos Santos. Se ha quedado básicamente perdido en toda la pelea entre Silva y Sonnen, pero tú estás peleando por una oportunidad de poder aspirar al título. ¿Es importante para ti? ¿Cómo te ha afectado eso en la concentración o en la preparación de tu pelea, sabiendo que podrías estar enfrentándote al ganador de Kane y Brock?
Não, isso só me fortalece. Eu acho que depois que eu soube da notícia que o Dana falou aí, que quem ganhar entre a gente essa luta aí vai disputar o cinturão, isso só me fortalece e me deixa mais motivado a ganhar essa luta.
The question was, during all these bouts that are going on, especially the Anderson-Chael fight, it seems like the fight for the number one contender has been kind of overshadowed. How do you feel about that, and how have you been able to motivate? And Junior's answer was, as soon as Dana announced that the winner of this would be the next guy for the title, it was super motivating, and I've been very focused and well prepared for this fight.
It's for Chael. Yesterday at the workout, you kind of mentioned you felt a little bit under the weather. Is that just a one-day thing, or how are you feeling right now?
No, I'm sore, tired, under the weather, overtrained, undermotivated, and still tough enough to beat this guy.
And how does it feel as far as now that you're in the home stretch?